All right, everybody, welcome back to the Adventure RX podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nick Anderson, physical therapist by trade, out in Cleveland, Ohio, where the ski season is slowly dwindling down, unfortunately. That's how it is in the Midwest. And today, I'm super excited to have Mr. Simon Dumont on, one of the GOATs of freestyle skiing. You know, Simon is a multiple-time X Games medalist, founder of the Dumont Cup. You know, one of these guys that, you know, anyone that is in free skiing now, you know, grew up and idolized and watched competing for many years. Simon, thank you so much for the time, and I'm excited to chat about a little bit of everything.
Well, thanks for having me.
Where are you at now, and what are you up to?
I'm currently in Wanaka, New Zealand with my family. Before we had our son, we decided to start traveling as soon as we had him. So when he was 3 months old, we just sold our place in Park City, Utah, which was actually kind of nice because it was COVID craziness. So we sold at like those crazy peak real estate prices. And then, we've just been traveling, and we've kind of nestled here in Wanaka, New Zealand for 6 months at a time.
Nice. So you're there for 6 months?
6 months. And then, we're going to figure out where we're going to go next. I don't know. We might go Europe, might go back to Japan. I'm not sure where we want to be yet. So kind of figuring it out.
Nice. That's fun. How do you like New Zealand? Very outdoorsy?
Oh, it's amazing. It reminds, because as I said, I had a place in Park City, Utah, and it reminds me of Utah probably 20 years ago.
Really?
Because Park City's changed so exponentially, it's crazy, especially with all the COVID madness, how many people moved in, how many people are there. It just, the feel of Park City is very different than what it used to be. So this reminds me of Park City probably 20, 25 years ago.
Do you feel like Park City is bigger, more commercial now, or describe that for me? Because we only travel out there, you know, every couple of years. So, you know, you were living there for so long. Describe what you mean.
Yeah, I just think everybody that can work remotely. I mean, I feel like both coast just came and everybody came to Park City and all the beautiful mountain towns. So all of a sudden you have this huge influx of people. I mean, it's nice to see so many people engaging in mountain sports, obviously, but when people aren't maybe familiar with the mountains quite as much, just the dynamics change. It's harder to get away. Like here, the little town of Wanaka is kind of busy, but I could drive 5 minutes and not see a single person around me.
And just
so it's just, and it just, I can let my son leave the house, and there's just endless activities. I mean, for everyone else, Wanaka is terrible. Don't come here, but wink, wink, because I want it to stay small. But I mean, most beautiful place. Yeah. But it's just awesome. Culture's amazing. Everybody's active. And we just spend most days on our mountain bikes. And hanging out with the little guy is probably the coolest, most rewarding thing I've ever done.
I love that, man. Yeah, I think it might be the Vail effect too, out in Park City. Pros and cons of the Epic Pass, right? It's hot topic. Our small resort in Cleveland is on the Epic Pass as well. So pros and cons. We've seen a little family resort go more corporate, and again, there's better management, but more hoops to jump through, and they're still putting on rail jams and stuff, and it's gotten a little more flexible now, but certainly not like it once was, I think. So I got to ask, man, are you doing any skiing now?
No skiing at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I took like probably 6 years off, maybe something like that, and then I saw my buddy Wallish and kind of decided to go and take a couple laps, and then all of a sudden found myself filming an edit, and then my crazy brain was just started coming up with different ideas, and then I was like, okay, that's enough. I've done it. And every time I put on skis or do anything, start thinking crazy thoughts about what I should do and who I should film with and all these different things. So I just had to kind of step away.
Is that so? You're known as one of the more competitive, kind of alpha guys, back in, call it the heyday of the competition days, where there was more eyes on you, more sponsors, more money. Do you miss that side of it? One of the questions I've always wanted to ask, listening to your podcast, was did the competitive side of getting after it all those years ruin the fun of skiing in a way? Or did you enjoy the competitive part of it and that was more fun for you than like the actual sport of skiing? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough. I think about that a lot. Did I ever really have fun, or was it just the competitive nature in which I could have placed in almost anything else that I could have done and found, I don't know if the rewards, but maybe success?
Sure.
I mean, give and takes, I guess. The competitive part, I mean, that is obviously my best, and it's great when you win. The part with me is that I would rather the pain of losing is 10 times worse than the great feeling of winning.
The winning.
So, yeah, and I guess the most difficult part is I just competed too long. Like I was not pumped to really go to the Olympics. The only
Mhm.
thing I saw the Olympics for at the tail end of my career was I saw it as something monetary. That was
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Like I didn't see it. It wasn't like I mean I podiumed almost every event we have in skiing, slope styles, big airs, half
Mhm.
pipe, film segments, did all this other stuff. And I had huge plans to just go and film and do some like revolutionary type stuff. But the idea of Olympics and having that payday was something that kind of blinded me. And then I feel like that is where I got into this just terrible headspace of trying to do something I knew I didn't want to do for the
Yeah,
wrong reasons.
right.
That's when the wheels really fell off for me.
Gotcha. You were rehabbing with Tom, correct? Like sort of in the same time, more or less. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we were both watching the Olympics with,
Watching.
I think we both had torn ACLs. Or, yeah, I think we both were having injuries at that time. So, yeah, it was nice to have a friend there. But, yeah, realistically, if obviously hindsight's 2020 and all that nonsense, if I could have stepped away from competition a couple of years earlier, I'd probably still be skiing now.
Is that because of the physical toll or more of the psychological toll?
For me, I mean, I could always come back uh, physically. Like I always
Hmm.
had an ability to, whenever I got hurt, it's just I will get back. But like the psychological toll of being injured is that's the terrible part. Like all the spotlight in which I found myself, the lights start to dim, the phone doesn't ring as much, you're alone, the monotony of I go to the gym twice a day, come home to a condo by myself, and just it. Yeah, that was. I had 3 summers where I couldn't walk in a row,
Hmm.
and then 3 winters where I broke both my wrists at the same time. So it's such a sick joke where
Yeah.
just, but I think if I would have, but I kept trying to compete in half pipe for some odd reason, which I never really enjoyed all that much anyway. Half pipe was just a means to an end financially to
Yeah.
support all the other stuff I like to do. So yeah, I just hanging on to trying to make that Olympic push was what just broke me psychologically, I think, more than anything.
Do you think you were chasing after the wrong things back then?
At that point in my career, yeah, for sure. I just, yeah, because I wasn't all that happy anyway. And I mean, I say this numerous times, and I would assume that even knowing this, it's still hard to believe that it's true. But I had this initial presupposition that if I achieved in the manner in which I achieved money, success, applause, all of those things, that I would arrive at this place that would be utopic in nature. And
Sure.
that is not where I found myself.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of people. I didn't have a very balanced life. It was like
Hmm.
all living very unidimensionally. And when that particular area of your life starts to fade and fizzle and lose grounding and substance, of course, I'm going to feel completely derailed.
Right. Were you getting after it even from a pretty young age? I mean, you were on the spotlight, when you were basically a teenager, right? Was it just grinding off-season gym, performance training,
I
skiing? Like
not as
what did that look like?
not as much that component, but I mean, I was skiing pretty competitively from a young age, and
Right.
when you get semi-famous at a young age, it's a weird perception of the world that you have. I
Oh,
mean,
sure.
people treat you a particular way, you have a particular idea of yourself, and I don't think that's how normal people navigate through life. So it's just it's a lot. I mean, if you I don't want to relate myself to any child stars or anything of that nature because it wasn't quite on that level.
Mm.
But if you look at any of these child stars, like a lot of them don't end up in the best place,
Yeah.
and I don't know why that would be different for somebody in athletics or in any other realm.
Yeah, and you're dealing with the physical consequences too, unlike maybe a childhood actor or something like that, where um, there is inherent risk to the sport, right? I mean, we've seen that with you doing all these record-setting events and medals and half pipe battles. It's understandable. When people say that there's so much lore around you, Simon, like you and versus Tanner back in the day, and it was just like a Schlopey in there, and you guys just going at it, competing. Did you guys view it like as a group? Were you all fairly competitive? Was it? I mean, I'm sure it varied person to person, But with the athletes I work with and those that I've interviewed, you're at a point, you're at such an alpha point of performance. You almost have to have that extreme competitive nature, or you won't make it, right? In any sport. So what was it like? It was a little more, I would say, tight knit back then. Everyone, there was less high level skiers, I would say, overall than maybe now, and we can debate that. But what was that like with all the guys? Was it fairly friendly? Was pretty cutthroat, or what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, everyone was friends. Everybody was great. I mean, I would assume most people look at their error and say it was the golden error. I mean, and for me, I think it's the golden error because it was so new that one, sponsors weren't quite sure maybe how to pay people, and the brands built their companies around particular athletes and they really pushed them in particular directions. And the pool wasn't so deep. So if you did get sponsorships, they paid you really well and they built their
Right.
brand around you, vice versa. So, I mean, like the amount of money you made compared to how sketchy it was, the depth of talent, and then the lack of social media. I mean, all of those things combined, it was just like
Right.
such a perfect time for me to come up because it was just, yeah, there was so much hype around it. And for me, I obviously we're all friends. We had this 10% rule that no matter
Yeah.
who won, you
Yeah.
spend 10% at the bar that night
Uh-huh.
because we're all friends. And
Right.
so, yeah, we had that component of it. I mean, I think I may have taken things a little bit more serious
Uh-huh.
or maybe been affected by results more than some other people, or at least put it out there. Like I'd wear it on my chest. Like if I won, yeah, I'd go out and I would be there with everyone. And then if I lost, obviously I would go out, but it would, it'd be like a
Different headspace.
heartbreak for me. Yeah. Just, and I don't know. I thought about things a little bit differently. I knew it wasn't going to last forever. And like the people that I idealized when I was younger was Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan. I watched them
Gotcha.
play, and the idea of just dominance
Mhm.
and watching them perform at such a high level where it was just because there was many athletes that I think were more talented than me, like where and they could win an event if they could land, but then when it came time to crunch time and actually landing a run, like some people just couldn't do it for some odd reason, and I just had the ability that when the lights were on and I needed to perform for some odd reason, maybe
Yeah.
God given, maybe something, I had the ability to land when I needed to land. So, yeah, it put me in a position that obviously created some good results and some exciting things.
Did you feel like when you put on the air raid suit and your kit, did you go into like the character of Simon or like the Superman of Simon? I've had some athletes tell me that they almost felt like a different character, like a superhero type thing. Was that the case for you when you got into like maybe strapping in before a pipe run or slope style?
I mean, it was hard to distinguish who this Simon character was to begin with, because I mean,
Yeah.
as you said, I turned pro at a pretty dang young age. Like I
Yeah.
got my first sponsors when I was 12 years old. So to have a distinction between who I am on and off the mountain was pretty difficult.
Right.
And I mean, to go to a contest and do an event like a half pipe contest or a slope style event, being aware of the consequences and everything that goes along with it and having to be focused and getting into that mindset, it's hard to shut that off once you
Mhm.
get off the hill. It's like that's what's so crazy. Like no wonder we partied and engaged in all of these things because I mean,
Right.
you go, you ski, you're at this like heightened level of existence where it's like fear, anxiety, all of these things, and then what you're supposed to just go home and go to sleep. It's like
Yeah.
it's hard to shut off. So yeah, I mean, I had an ability to get into a mindset though that when it was comp time where I would almost disassociate, where I would
Mhm.
kind of I'd get to a bottom of a half pipe run and I would kind of like wake up where it's like, oh my God, what happened?
Wow. Yeah.
But I think that's through just continuous preparation. Like I would be the person that during training days, it'd be like Tanner and I were running up to the half pipe to get one more hit in
One
training,
more hit.
or
Yeah.
yeah, and it was also a psychological game. I remember like I like to drop in and first run in the half pipe. I'd like to do almost my entire run to
Okay.
set the tone because I know people are watching.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not going to warm up with straight airs. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to set the gauntlet right at the beginning. And it's like as soon as we're competing, it's like we're
Game
we're
over.
we're going to battle.
Yeah. Do guys we've been we watch the Olympics at X Games every year still. We're in our, 30s now. And a question that I wanted to ask was and I don't know if the younger kids now, but back when you were training, how often would you do a full run versus working, on a singular trick? Because for those of those people listening that don't know about the half pipe, it's no soft landings. If you screw up, it's concrete ice. How often would you train your full run versus one trick at a time? Because I feel like now the kid from New Zealand, I forget his name, young kid, he's throwing triples in the pipe. Like, there's no way he's doing that run all that often. How was it like back when you were training?
Yeah, I mean, being a free skier now, I mean, the different safety equipment that they have nowadays. I mean, from airbags, even here in
True, yeah,
Wanaka, like I drive towards Queenstown, and there's a huge airbag set up on the side of the mountain that just, I mean, that doesn't make sense to me because we never had that. It was, you learn everything on snow and you just ask your buddy if you think you got it and you figure it out. It wasn't like we did much trampolining. There wasn't really a lot of that stuff. So I think that uh, the game is just different. Like, I mean, if you're learning all of these things on a trampoline from such a young age, I think that's another reason that maybe I had a leg up is because I was a pretty competitive gymnast early in my life. So maybe that gave me a little bit of air awareness, obviously. But
for sure.
yeah, I mean, watching what the kids are doing now compared to what we were doing then, it's a different game.
How often do you watch Olympics or X Games nowadays?
I guess I'll answer your other question first since I kind of weaseled around it. But when it comes to doing my half pipe run when it was contest day,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I'm not working on really one trick unless it's like troubling me in my half pipe run, but
Yeah,
I'm trying to link everything together because, I
gotcha.
mean, and you don't win a run unless you land. So,
Gotta
I
get
mean,
them
if
all.
I needed
Yeah,
to if I needed to let go of a grab early, I needed to do something. My main goal at any contest is to land a run.
end it.
That's the distinction between most people. I'll look a little less steezy. I'll do whatever
Hmm.
it needs to do. My goal is to land a run. You're never going to win unless you land a run. So I
That's
would
true.
just get it. Yeah, I would say to get it so ingrained. But yeah, I would assume it's very different. But when I was training off the mountain, like let's say I'm just going for a half pipe day, which was never that enjoyable. Yeah, usually it's a little bit more focused on particular jumps or particular tricks. And then with X Games and Olympics and all of that, no, I don't. It's crazy. Like I get so obsessed with something. Like as
Hmm.
soon as I was done with skiing, I got obsessed with beach volleyball, and I
Oh,
literally played. I bought a place in Miami, lived on the beach, didn't have a ski bag, lived in board shorts every day, and just played
wow.
beach volleyball every
Yeah,
day for 8 years. And then I just got to a point where I was like, kind of over it. And I used
yeah,
to watch every match, like watch the Olympics, know everyone, and then I just got over it. And then the next thing's been like mountain bike, and it's just that's kind of I don't know. I know that life is finite, so I just why not enjoy numerous things instead of
yeah,
just
yeah. Sure.
yeah. So no, I mean I watch some of the highlights
Yeah.
for sure. Like if they come up, like it doesn't mean that I can't appreciate it. But yeah, I don't follow it like I used to by any means.
It's almost too hard to follow now with the continuous feed of content, and it almost, I like going out and watching these 11, 12 year olds throwing stuff and rail tricks that weren't even existed back when I was trying to learn stuff. And the difference was back when I was learning how to do some things, I would watch, your part, or the step, or whoever, once a year, maybe twice a year, we'd have new stuff coming out, and then we'd watch the X Games or the big competitions. Now it's just like a continuous feed. The sport is just nutty now with so much talent. It's just insane. Every day on Instagram, I see some young kid doing something that I could never dream of even wanting to try. It's just insane. Almost like a different sport in a way compared to 15, 20 years ago.
Oh, it's so crazy. And I mean, I like the fact that when we were skiing, or at least from my perspective, I wanted to do every component of skiing. So I would
Yeah.
go ski half pipe, I'd compete in slope style, I'd compete in big air, and then any remaining time of the year, I'd try and film and I'd do all of that. And now it's you're just a half pipe skier, you're just a slope
Mhm.
style skier because the level's so high. It's you kind of have to focus on one
Right.
thing. So it's like a lot of new sports. It's like the people that I mean, I hate to use pickleball as a reference because it's kind of an old man sport, but there's like a guy named Ben Johns who's
Mhm.
like he was there at the beginning of pickleball and he won event after event after event. And now that the field's getting deeper, people are getting younger, people are getting better. I don't
Getting
think they'll
better.
ever be there yet, but they'll never be somebody like that because the
Right.
circumstances in which he found himself coming up, it's like it's hard to create those. icons or those people. Like it's timing, preparation,
Mhm.
ability. It's like luck. There's a lot that goes into it rather than just
Yeah.
skill. So I got very fortunate of when I came up and when everything happened.
Yeah, you could even compare that to Tiger, right? It was kind of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
perfect
yeah. Same
perfect
thing.
storm, like perfect timing. Social media and all these golf influencers weren't a thing back then, and I'm like sure the field was deep. There was guys that were competing, but it's just different. Even golf now is insane with the amount of talent out there. When you see guys like Tanner still putting out parts and putting his body on the line. I think he tore his Achilles just a few years ago, and it like
I know, crazy.
39, 40 years old. That's a tough one to come back from. Like, what are your thoughts when you see Tanner out there? I mean, just getting after it. We met him at where was that? Park City Woodward, and he's like lapping rails on icy nighttime skiing, and just for the love of the game, I guess. But like, what are your like? What's like? How is he built like that? Or Tanner. Like, what do you think of when you see him putting stuff out still? He's got to be like, what, 41, 42 now?
I mean, they just have a different love for skiing than I think I ever did.
Hmm.
Even I can think of guys like Henrik Harlow, Tanner Hall, those two people. I mean, Henrik, he used to come up to me and he'd like say a sentence from a movie part that I said 10 years ago, which I didn't even remember. Like the kids just the love for skiing, which
Yeah.
I appreciate it for them, but for me, I don't think I had that type of love. And Tanner was always that person. Loved skiing more than anybody that
Than
I ever knew.
probably anyone ever, right? I mean,
Yeah, to see him still doing the things that he's doing and pushing the way that he's pushing. I mean, it seems crazy to me. Just not in a bad way. It just seems something that is tough for me to wrap my head around because
yeah,
once I just got so burnt out. But maybe he just had, yeah, I guess he probably had fun and passion for it that I just didn't have.
maybe a different lens or different perspective. And I mean, he got into the big mountain stuff for a while, and I think a lot of us diehard, culture skier guys wish that you see it with oh gosh, what's his name? He puts out a part every year.
Sammy?
Yeah, yeah, Sammy. Yeah, putting out the big mountain stuff every year. Simon, I'm telling you, bro, we miss watching you. That would be super fun. Lower impact.
I
I
mean,
don't want
trust
I don't
me,
want I don't want to be the guy that pushes you into it again, but maybe hit up Sammy and go on a trip with him. That'd be fun.
if I
And
would have
we wouldn't
stopped,
we wouldn't complain if you filmed it too.
yeah, if I would have stopped a couple of years earlier and not competed, trust me, you would have. Because I always wanted to do some Travis Rice type stuff and just huge backcountry
Yeah,
booters.
his
I had
stuff is
ideas.
awesome.
Yeah, I had ideas of what I wanted to do, but it just didn't pan out. I'm pretty grateful for where I am in life, and yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Good.
I commend Tanner especially for still doing and still having the fire. I don't know how he still has it, but he was always a unique character. Even though we competed, there was a lot of things that I could relate to, but simultaneously we were different in a lot of ways too. So yeah, that's what else was cool. We had, since it was such a small pool, you could really get to know particular people. Like Tanner had a particular image, I had a particular image. You could build hype around particular athletes. So every year X Games was super exciting. Now I'll turn it on and I know maybe a couple athletes, and then
Yeah, a
it's
couple.
just, yeah, all of these other people. It's like they're still amazing. Don't get me wrong, but it's hard to like really follow along because there's just the field is so deep now.
Yeah, we almost felt like, like we knew you guys in a way, right? With the personalities and like you're saying, the sponsors portrayed you guys in a certain light, whether that was for good or for bad, only you can answer that one. But you're right. Yeah, it was like the same guys for what, like 5 to 10 years straight, and we're
Mm.
just going at it every year. And those battles were so fun to watch. And it's different now. It's nice to see like Alex Fiera still getting after it in the pipe. He's been fun to watch. Him and it was great to see Gepper back. Him sending it. He's a super competitor, even though he's kind of comes off as a little silly online. But, that was a fun battle. What's a question that I'm sure you've done a lot of these podcasts. What's a question that someone hasn't asked you that you wish someone had? Maybe it was when you were competing, or maybe it's post skiing career now. Maybe it's something you want to clear up.
Mm. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I mean, I could easily try to like clear up particular things. As I said, obviously, I had particular image sometimes off the hill, which I mean, it's so funny. But also, I feel like the internet was kind of not the internet, but like forums and particular things were kind of new then. So I didn't understand them like I do now, where if no matter what you post, there's going to be like just hate regardless if it's the coolest thing you've ever
Oh,
done in your entire
for
life.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah, and I didn't understand my own psychology, so I'd like something or I'd read something and it'd be like 100 great things of just that's so sick, it's the best thing, and then there's like five comments where it's like, oh, this guy like murdered my kid or something ridiculous, like so
just
over the top where you're like,
just
and it would
trolling.
just
Yeah,
yeah, and it would I had no idea that that's just what it was. So like some of those things would get to me, and I feel like I would try to let people know that like that wasn't the persona that I had, or but now I guess I really don't care all that much. But it's just, I guess that would be the biggest hurdle for me at that age, just like taking ridiculous things to heart. But I guess when you're a
yeah.
young kid and you don't really know what that means because
No,
everybody it was yeah.
yeah. The internet, like you're saying, was so new back then, and YouTube was new, and GoPros didn't even exist probably when you started, right? Like we had the GoPro One. I think it was a piece of junk now, but it's just different now for sure. And getting started that young with the internet. I mean, we grew up with the internet in a way, right? So it's different now. These kids are born with it.
I would just, I mean, I guess like the biggest thing is like sometimes I'd hear people be like, well, I waited forever at the bottom of the half pipe and Simon didn't do this. And it's like, well, during competing, I'm not there to do anything except compete. But then after the event, like even now, like I have people will come up to me and have me sign something or just say
Mhm.
anything. And like, I'm so unbelievably humbled by that, that somebody wants to take their time to come say hi and recognize me for sliding around on some wood. So like after any event,
Yeah,
I'd literally be there until there was no one there because I did appreciate all the fans and all the people that I had. So I mean, I guess the big thing was if there was somebody that felt slighted for some odd reason, I mean, I was there to do a job, and then I'm more than willing to give you guys as much time as I can. But as I said, once again, a young human trying to figure all these things out. That obviously I didn't do everything perfectly, but I
sure.
did the best of my ability for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think you did the best you could and a lot of good with that for sure. Is it weird looking back on your career now that you're not skiing as much? And when people say, "Oh, you're one of the maybe not one of the pioneers, but you really helped shape free skiing to where it is today," whether that's on the competition side, on the film side. Is that weird to hear?
To be honest, I'm so detached from that world and I'm so detached from that person that it's almost hard to even recognize. Like, because my son will ask for some edits every now. Like he's at 3.5, 4 years old, where he's kind of understanding stuff a little bit more, and he'll ask
Yeah,
for
sure.
particular edits or but want to hear about a crash or hear about different things, and then it kind of brings me back into that world. But
Mhm.
even when I'm looking back on that person, it's almost unrecognizable because I'm just after skiing, I'm not the same person that I was previous. So, but I mean, to hear anybody, I think it's bigger when my wife didn't know me when I skied. She met me after skiing, and
Okay.
she doesn't know anything about snow sports. So when I get into one of those areas where people really recognize me or give me particular accolades, and I see it through her eyes, or I hear from her after, I think that's when I have a better recognition of maybe the impact that I've had on people that was hard for me to recognize.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's almost like, when do you feel like you had, a part of you or part of the alter ego or ego, when you retired, was that like an ego death in a way, or like part of you was left behind, and you maybe reformed in a way, or describe that? Because I think we're all, everyone grew up watching you. Again, I'll just repeat it. We want you to ski again, Simon. We miss you, man. We miss the content. But do you feel like a part of you was like left behind, or do you feel like that was fine and you're just a different person moving in a different direction? Like you said, you got into the volleyball, which is fun.
Yeah, I just need to reevaluate my life and just find some more. I think there's this word called balance that people use, I guess, which is still troublesome for me because I'll get obsessed with almost anything and then I'll put everything into it. But I think the things that I'm starting to get obsessed with now are more rewarding and long lasting. I mean, having a wife and being the best husband that I could be is something that I never thought would be valuable. And then being a father is just, I mean, I thought I found joy in life before with all of these things that I achieved, but doing things with your son, I mean, I've all the trite things that you hear about being a parent, all of those things times 100. It's amazing. My barometer for joy is like 10 times, and then my barometer for sadness and pain are 10 times also. Like watching him get hurt, devastating. Watching him hit jumps on his mountain bike when he's like 2.5 years old, I'm like, I cannot believe it's sickest. Yeah,
Yeah.
just reevaluating my life and finding joy and happiness and fulfillment and duty and other things that are more meaningful.
Yeah. I love that, man. That's got to be fun seeing the mini me getting after it sometimes.
It's the sickest, and it's so crazy because he'll have big bails, and then I feel like most kids would be like, "I'm done. I hate this thing," and he'll look at me like, "Okay, one more. Don't want to leave on a crash," or like he wants to get up and try it again. It's just I
Yeah.
just it's crazy because it literally he kind of he looks like me as a kid too, and
Yeah.
everything. So it's just I'm like, okay, there's my new job is making sure that I give him all the opportunities to do what he needs to do. So yeah, that's
Yeah, that's fun. Well, there's a genetic component to it, right, man? He's going to be getting after it,
we'll see. Hopefully,
just like Pops.
yeah.
One question I had for you when you were rehabbing, you said a few years in a row you're dealing with some stuff. What was the motivation or the drive to get back, especially as you got in, like later 20s, maybe 30s? Was it getting back to competing? Was it the love of skiing? Was it getting back to make money? Was it getting back for the fame? When you're in those dark post-op, those dark grinding PT sessions, and now I'm empathetic on my side of it, being the provider, but I can't provide that drive for patients. Like that's got to be from within. What was your driving force?
Well, I mean, when I was younger, I just felt like I was invincible. Any injury that happened I never even thought about it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get better. Everything's gonna be fine. I'm gonna just,
Hmm.
yeah, give me a month. I know it's people. I felt like I healed really quickly, which it's hard to rush physiology. That's what it felt like to me. And
Yeah.
then as you get older, and I was fortunate that I didn't have a lot of surgeries when I was younger. Like I
Okay.
broke bones and I had a lot of stuff, but surgery is different. Where yeah, I mean, you have the first part of surgery and then you are on drugs, which is a thing in itself. And then
Hmm.
you have to come off drugs at that same time where it's like you're the most vulnerable, where you can't really do anything. You're in PT and they're just moving your leg around. It's hard to find much progress. And then for me, as soon as I started like seeing a little bit of light,
Yeah.
I have an ability to be able to build on that. So
Yeah.
I mean, every time I got hurt, it was like, okay, well, this is a bummer. And I'd have that first grieving period of devastation. And then obviously the drug component, which for me was always a difficult one because I never drank, I never smoked. First thing I ever took was a painkiller.
Okay.
And obviously, painkillers do their job. It kills everything, kills
Right.
your pain with the psychological component, the actual
Hmm.
physical pain. So I always wrestled with those. So that was a difficult, very difficult journey for me. And then after you got off that, and then my mind got a little bit clear. The motivation was just to get back to the next thing, whatever I can do. Okay, well, you can walk, and I try to rush everything. And so it's like, okay, well, if I'm
Yeah.
going to rehab, I'm going to rehab the best that anybody's
Hmm.
rehabbed. And all of a sudden,
Sure.
it's like I went from like 155 pounds to like 4% body fat and like ripped out of my mind because that was all I could do. So I was like, I'm going to do it the best that I can. And every single time I got hurt, I never had a doubt that I wouldn't get back. I just got on the grind. So the biggest thing for me was usually it was as soon as I got surgery, and then I would say 3 weeks after surgery. Those first like 3 weeks were always the most difficult for me. Just the drug and the lack of things to do. And thankfully there was, I'll say her by name, Jen Kimball over at the COE in Utah,
Hmm.
the Olympic facility. She was a godsend. Because as I said, like the lights dimmed, nobody was around anymore. I'd
Right.
hear some calls from my agent and some people, and I'd have some friends for sure. But it wasn't like, I mean, my phone rang nonstop. And then
Yeah.
I just had this PT who was just amazing bedside manner, just amazing person, amazing page. And I've told her numerous times, I was like, you may have saved my life. Like I don't know if
Yeah.
you have an understanding of how much you helped me through difficult times. So I was it was just yeah, I mean, unless you've been in surgery and gone through it numerous times, it's a battle in itself. But now it's just I know what I'm getting into.
Right. Yeah. This career is so rewarding, man, and it's being able to get in the trenches with my patients, unlike really any other career. It just, get into there's dark spots and dark conversations, and just being able to be that outlet or be that person to just to talk through shit with people. Like, you never know, it's how deep someone can be into it. So just being in the trenches, man, it's definitely a rewarding part of the job. And say most PTs are fairly empathetic. I know they're really good out there in the Olympic training facility for sure.
And I mean, I've had numerous PTs in my whole experience. And it's like any other job. You can have an amazing PT, and then you can have other PTs that just
Right.
are doing what they do. And
Yeah.
it was nice for me whenever I had a PT that didn't talk to me like I was just some pleb. Like,
Yeah.
oh, just do these things that I tell you. It's like people are breaking down the physiology, the biology, everything to such a minute level where I want to understand all of these things. Like, tell
Right.
me what's going on.
Yeah.
And then through that, I would get more excited about learning about these particular things, my body, how it functioned, health, fitness. I mean, everything kind of changed through that entire process. I just took things a little bit more seriously. And once you have
Right.
surgery, you realize that you're not invincible, which is a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, the surgeries, there's scar tissue, right? Whether it's the physical scar tissue, the mental, psychological scar tissue as well. And those things can compound, especially in the high impact sport that you were so good at. And it comes to a point where, yeah, either you don't want to do it anymore, or you can't do it anymore. And it's been fun to ask some of the other skiers I've had on. It's like, what led to you wanting to quit competing? And the answers are so variable, and it's really interesting. A lot of it can be the risk factor. It's injury stacking up. Father time never loses. That's the main takeaway.
Sure, I think the big thing, I was just going to say, the big thing for me was just risk reward.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I can, yeah, I know the risk I'm putting my body in the whole time, but I'm going to risk my body again for another appearance at X Games, even though I've been here, 14, however many times I was there.
Sure.
It just, risk reward wasn't there anymore for me. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I can go to another event, I can get another podium, or I could not. Either way, it just wasn't there. It didn't make sense to me anymore.
Would you still compete? Were you competing when you knew you likely couldn't medal, or is that a point when one of the reasons why maybe you stopped competing? Because I asked Tom that, and Tom said he really stopped going to X Games when he knew that he couldn't win. Essentially, on a good day he could maybe get third or fourth, but some of the younger kids were just throwing stuff that were just much more risky. How was that with you? Did you still compete when you knew maybe you couldn't win, or how was that?
No, I don't think that's why if I'm even now, if I'm going to do anything, I obviously always think that there's a chance to win. Because I would literally, I'll leave on my shield rather than not win. Like, I'll give it everything. So I don't think that
Sure.
was it for me. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
what is another win, or what is another podium going to do? Because the year before I tore my ACL the first time, it was like I podiumed every event I went to. It's not like I won every event, but I podiumed every event. I didn't even really train that much. I didn't really do that much. It just, yeah, kind of was what it was. And then I just got to a point where that's why I wanted to film a little bit more, because I felt like I left a little something on the table there, because I was competing more than I was filming, even though I had a ton of parts.
Right.
So I don't know what another win would have done. It just was a little monotonous, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. When someone brings your name up, maybe it's 20, 30 years from now, Simon Dumont, what do you want to be known for, or what do you want your legacy to sound like?
It's kind of funny. I used to care about all of those things, and now, I honestly, I have such a small, tight knit group of people that mean more to me than what anybody else's opinion could mean to me. So if my son says, "Hey, you were an awesome dad," or my wife says, "You were a difficult person to be around, but you are a great provider and a great husband," and yeah, the people that mean the most around me, I gave them the best that I could. I think that's most important than all of those other things, because it eventually is going to die out. Like, no matter how amazing all of those things were. So yeah, I guess I'm not as concerned about what people think about my ski career that much, to be honest.
I got one more good question for you. It's a good one. What are the chances we can get you on the marketing team or something to get the air raid suits back, man? Because the kits nowadays, these kids are wearing, they're no good. They're no good. We need some color back, man.
I know if there's one thing that I have seen, it's the really long poles.
Yeah.
The style component. There are still some, like when I watch particular skiers, I'll be like, okay, there it is. Like that's
Yeah.
why I loved watching Henrik for such a long time.
Oh man, Henrik's great.
Even though
Yeah.
he did all these crazy tricks, but the way that he made them look, it was still like, oh, okay, the
So
style's still there with this crazy technicality.
yeah.
And yeah, it's hard to look really steezy and super tight stuff with really long poles. Like you kind of look
Hmm.
like a huck doll no matter what you're doing. So yeah, that's another reason it's hard to watch as much. I mean, I hate to be,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I'm not being a hater. It's my preference, obviously. But
We're
yeah,
just no, we're getting older, man.
uh,
That's what we do, you know?
I know I'm stuck in my ways. I know. I wonder if I'm just getting older or things are changing to a, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess not, yeah, a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we'll put the air raid suit. We'll put that on hold, but give that some thought because there's a market for that with the 30 to 40 year old free skiers that are still doing it. I would buy one for sure.
So funny though. I feel like everybody saw my air raid suit, and then I'd see them out in public, and they people didn't realize like I'm wearing an XL or a double XL.
Yeah.
So like it had a particular look on me because I'm not that tall and I'm not
Hmm.
like this. So then I'd see it out in the world, and it'd
Yeah.
be like immediate. Somebody would be wearing it like it's supposed to fit, and I'm like, this
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
have the same look. Like
No.
I'm wearing suspenders underneath, so it's extra baggy. Like there's a way that you got to make it look. But yeah, it was funny because even I bring this up again. I when I shot that edit with Wallace, I was making fun of him all day about his pants because he's growing up. He's not wearing triple XL pants, and then
Yeah.
I made him really get out the old gear that he had for the edit,
Oh, I love it.
and yeah, it was so sick to see because I mean he's one of the pioneers of just he's one person I feel like could almost wear anything and just make it look steezy. The
Make it
one
look
person I
good.
saw without the one person I saw without poles before no poles was the thing, I guess, where you'd be like, oh, he can do it because his arms don't move. They're by his, you could tie him around his waist and he doesn't even need to move his arms. So it was just,
Yeah.
yeah, that's Tom. He
Yeah.
could get away with it.
Tom's sick. Yeah, it's dope. He's putting on the Seven Springs comp every year. I think there's a need for that. Hike rail jams and maybe less serious events with a couple $1,000 to win or something. I think there needs to be more of that. And the local resorts with taken on by Vail, I don't know if they're doing less. But yeah, man, maybe bring back the Dumont Cup, but am style pro am or something. That'd be fun. Just
Yeah,
giving
those
you
were
some
good
ideas,
days.
Simon. Just floating them out
All
there.
right. All right. More things to ponder.
More things to ponder. Well, hopefully we get a resurrection edit number 2 at some point. We're all clamoring for it. Thank you so much for the time, Simon, and wish you the best of luck out there in New Zealand with you and your family.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for the time.
Yeah, no worries.